situation if they do find one pick there. Because then they get another with the whole team rotating in.
Right.
That turns into a tier 1 tower, and at the same time, the gold view is spawning anyway, so this could just be momentum for Trifecta if they find that pick. I get what he was trying to do, it just didn't work out.
Now potentially a chance for United to erase the lead from Trifecta. A nice job with the axe, jumping right up and back down in place, but rooted, and the beads now forced out. Neil has rejoined the fray, but pulled back in by the bug. And Satman turns it around and screams.
He got the
one
kill.
that ends up falling. What a play from the Euler.
And in comes Samba, so is Paul hit too. Panda's low on mana, no ultimate available. Paul gets the kill. Trifecta and taking it to a United.
That's 2 for 0 in their favor, and they're not done yet. Scary D has just now joined the fray. A big play with those Tycho jumps from Paul. They turn it around to the tier 1, but that one has Zapman's name written all over it. How does he survive underneath that tier 1 tower?
Zapman channeled the fact that he streams a lot and gets sniped a lot, right? So he dances around the tier 1 as fast as he can, going, help me, help me, help me. And eventually the whole squad showed up.
Well, now it's Gold Fairy time, Graham, and Trifecta dropping enough presence they're giving to Baskin on this. I'm gonna have to imagine for a steal potential. Neil looks for the stun, but it's Benji who's disruptive inside the watery grave, and all of this is buying time for E United to get everyone back in.
Absolutely correct, but Trifecta know this too, so they're going to go back to the gold view again and force the United to keep fighting.
And they are going to pull back in, and the target this time is Polar Bear Mike. Sam for soccer finds him with the overhead kick, but can they get the Gold Fury? They pull it one more time. Panda Cat on his way. Benji and Baskin are nearby, but at this point, the Gold Fury might be a little bit too low. Trifecta secure the objective.
I love Sam for soccer on zone duty there. He's the one with the escape if he needs to. Great work from Trifecta all in all.
Clean.
And this is, like we said, though, this is the same comp from Trifecta that we saw at placements. They're not showing anything yet, and the United haven't really got an answer.
It's our worst. He won the one world. But that wasn't worlds this time.
United
This year.
they've committed so much, they had to keep going until
I've seen him in a mustache.
Trifecta find one more kill. They come back to the Gold Fury. They're very
Red algae, huh?
and bait in E United as well. I don't know if it's so much E United having an answer or Trifecta just playing well.
In fairness, though, we talked about Zapman and the dive on him. I was making a semi-joke, but it's actually true. Like, Zap is so used to being dove by teams.
Yes, I agree.
That he has to juke and escape. Credit to Neilmar, though, because the shell came huge in the engagement. As did the heroic
He should just understand.
caused so many problems for United to find the abilities that they needed to kill him. And Zap ends up getting a kill off the back of it.
Yeah, he found a really nice stun underneath that tower as well to buy himself some time. That went about as well for Trifecta as it could have, and that lead that was starting to shrink a little bit when E United found that double has now started to expand once again, about 5,000 gold-wise, favoring Trifecta back in their favor. And now looking a little bit on this right side of the map, we haven't seen much action over here near the
Had like
side.
the book of the you know, and Helm of Celestial Hand.
So far. One of them was contested. The other one was not at all.
Stir the pot, yeah, right, Chef.
Also went to Trifecta uncontested. Why not go?
I'm not even an old Italian lady.
Or at least see if E United want to come in and take another bad fight, because right now is that area where E United might have to start thinking a little bit more, Graham, about if they even do want to take some of these fights, how much can they give up? Do they need to fall back? It's not doom and gloom to the point where they can't fight in yet, but you definitely have to start asking that question.
I mean, 5K is a nice lead, but once again, E United, the longer the game goes, the more this composition is going to cause problems for Trifecta.
Panda Cat is still playing Freya, right? That is okay, good. Just wanted to make sure. Okay.
And he's still stacking. Book of Tarth is working online. Same can be said for Susano with the Transcendence in the jungle.
That's right.
The whole comp of the United is really aiming for the late game.
Well, Pyromancer being considered now by Trifecta and very low. Rainfire a little bit too late. Trifecta grab the Pyromancer. Not the end-all be-all, but even more to help push Trifecta a little bit out of reach for now.
That's 4 objectives in a row.
Yep.
That Trifecta have got, and only one of them was really contested by United. It shows that they're not scared of like, oh no, we're gonna lose a Pyro. They're actually sitting back quite a lot. Just throwing out, you know, the damage from a Capri and going, well, maybe we'll get one.
Yes, I really stirred the past.
Generally harder here in Season 5. We're very much near the end, but it is harder to siege. And not just that, but United have a siege draft here. One of the ones who could be
that there doesn't be the beef spot head there.
And drop the bombs.
Yeah. Wow, that actually,
Siege mode, I don't think he can panic even still.
Not too much. I mean, you could still look to defend tier 2 towers, dependent on the situation for sure. And also, when you look at the composition, it's going to be very difficult for Zapman to get in to deal damage to towers and phoenixes. because he doesn't really have any CC immunity in his kit, which is
Whoa.
one thing that's important.
This is E United considering the Fire Giant. This is good recognition. Trifecta going to be a little bit late to this, but they are here now. Sam for Soccer going to be the first one in.
That's knocked them up and damaged the fucking...
Destroy the FG and they are out of there. Trifecta caught sleeping.
Think about it, Trifecta get 4 objectives in a row, and E United watch, and then E United go, where'd Trifecta go? Oh, we'll just hit the Fire Giant then. Nullified.
Yeah, we were watching Worlds and clicking this on Binus.
So well for 23 minutes, and then there's just this lapse of judgment. You gotta have someone nearby, some kind of control over what's happening at that Fire Giant pit, and all credit to E United by the way.
Sounds bit looks like a build that
not just burn it, but to commit once they're on
gets beat very out there, the C build. But it's experimenting, you know.
Put the brakes on Trifecta.
Credit to Scream though.
He's just thinking.
The damage on that Fire Giant. The fact that Agony and Freya they're cool, but it still takes.
He's been efficient in one way.
Susana going for a damaging build up to this point with the Transcendence gave him the extra burst they needed to steal the Fire Giant, or at least strip it before Trifecta could get there.
Yeah, for now, United can consider themselves essentially on even footing in a team fight with Trifecta with some of this extra love from the Fire Giant buff. In fact, they might be looking to group and take down this tier 1 and left. No one from Trifecta is nearby for it, so it should be theirs.
Going back to the lapse in judgment from Trifecta though, I need to look back at where everybody was on the map and who left last.
Right.
Know? You gotta look behind, you gotta close
last
the door.
Last one out, lock the door.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't lock it, you're gonna get robbed. And they got robbed.
Last man alive, lock the door.
On the broadcast, but the 4 from E United breaking down the tier 2 in left. They're gonna leave Zapman Logan right to grab the tier 2 and at least make it 1-for-1. A nice trade for Trifecta, but E United not done yet, considering to push further. But they fall back. Sam was nearby anyway. And I think E United with good recognition that they gotta wait a little.
Hey YouTube.
And where Satman was. They don't see him on the map, so they expect to fall back. Gold's available, but Scary D might go for a cheeky steal.
He's got the ultimate still available. Blink in as well, and Trifecta are the ones that snatch it away. E United not able to confirm it, even with the Agni present, and that means now Trifecta can fall back, having returned the favor back to E United.
Cheeky steal is all you needed, and look at the goal difference, Finch. Still, Trifecta are technically winning the game.
Yes. I would say so, a little bit more than technically, really. It's this Fire Giant that's kind of been the Band-Aid over this gold deficit, experience deficit for United.
And that's why I always say technically, because the Fire Giant brings so much. By getting that objective, you get a regeneration buff for your team, you hit towers harder, and you also deal more damage overall. So it puts more pressure on the map, and you can keep going and never have to base. So many little things the Fire Giant brings that keeps this relatively even for now.
United trying to force down the tier 1. Scream is revealed he's not here on the map on those minions, so Trifecta should know. Scary D not going to get locked down. It's Neil jumping in, trying to pop some bubbles, and for now, the tier 1 tower still stands relatively tall.
Scary's having a really good game so far, I'm not going to lie.
Yes.
Near my strange name comes from
Scream's coming too, and
popularized by Bat Magazine.
With a Freya on the team and not a Hunter.
You can tell too, it's very slow.
Neoma Land, for example, for Strange Plays.
Even with Panda Cat finding great shots, Scream gonna trade out with Sam for Soccer in the jungle, has to retreat. Sam might want a little bit more, but he falls back at E United. Despite a heavy commitment, can't even force down a tier 1.
Sam very quiet so far this game in
and that was with Fire Giant.
Yeah, but Sam very quiet in one way, but at the same time, he's been there when he's needed to be, and that's been very key for Trifecta. He's been involved in all 4 kills, as has Neomar so far.
I think you could say that about both of these junglers. Not a ton of aggression and gank so far.
If you don't mind me. That's the wrong document.
I mean, it's only 7 kills in 27 minutes, but as you said, their impact has certainly been there. Right when their team needs them, they're on the back line trying to...
Can you hear my people calling me?
sure their team doesn't give up too much. I think it has been still good impact from them.
You are right though, Fire Giant was all around the waist of United all that time, and they got what, tier 1 and tier 2 in left?
And that was answered back by Zap, yeah, and right.
They didn't show up. That's one of the other reasons, like I said. So now, Power again, 4-3.
So not really much of a net gain for United at all on the back end of that. They essentially just buy themselves time. And remember, that is still enough for them to just kind of buy themselves some time. They've got the Obsidian Shard now for Panda Cat. There for Basket as well. They should be able to start shredding through Trifecta a little bit later as this game goes. But even now, with 5 items there for Panda Cat, they can feel rather strong.
Well, this time around, Trifecta have got to be a little bit careful around this Fire Giant because it's an empowered Fire Giant this time too.
Right.
After the 25-minute mark, the next one that spawns does even more damage.
That's right, gives even more damage up against these.
Let's talk about whatever, that's okay, that's my book. I like writing down last idiot alive, lock the door.
So they're going to make sure they're here for this fight.
No one's offended, right?
Back up in about 15 more seconds, and everybody's going to be
like
here for this.
Most people aren't really that stupid. 2% are stupid. Some of the 30 people are smart. 30 plus minus.
The respawn time is against.
That's really statistically thinking by me, right? You're not that stupid. It's a pretty funny thing to say, you know, like, I just tapped a bucket of glue on my way home watching some smite, but you're not that stupid.
Where you can barrel down a lane and there is 2 open Phoenixes, one in left and one in right, for either side.
If it's a really weak Shanghai build, we could put some focus.
Nice damage coming out from Baskin. He forces Neil back yet again. Remember, Neil has that low nose. It's been a big part of what's made these Finra supports so viable to sort of cover up for the fact that really it's an assassin you're trying to use as your guardian.
I mean, at the end of the day, all he's got to do is find the stun over and over again.
That's all you need.
People down.
We're going to go in one more time. Neil
That guy was what? Seems to be some change here.
With the jump, but it is indeed Sam that comes into the back
Bro goes for Sam.
Waiting for him to knock him up, and he goes up down with the Mystic Rush, and it's E. United have taken a ton of damage so far. In fact, they've left Benji a bit isolated, trying to get away from the damage on the Raijin, and just barely does.
But now they can get the Fire Giant Trifecta win a huge fight. They've got sustain on the squad too. Because of that, that was perfect. Baskin getting focused by Sam, and the ult from Polar Bear Mike goes to the backline, which leaves Benji alone, and he has to fall back. Fire Giants and Trifecta, great fight from them.
And I know no one died, but they essentially killed E-United in that fight because everyone had to leave. There was no way they could stick around and try and defend the Fire Giant on the back end of that. And now Trifecta get their turn to play a little bit offense on these Phoenixes to try and make some sieges. Remember, E-United just went to the bank and robbed it. No one was home last time, so this is the first true siege that we're going to have a chance to see here as we approach the 30-minute mark in the game, and it'll be Trifecta the one to the driver's seat.
That was actually the first team fight we've seen too. Nobody died in it, but at the same time, United had to retreat and fall back.
Everyone's done a good job, I think.
Great comment.
You kind of see it, right? Even in the drafts. I mean, this Chang'e, the Robin, even Raijin, very good at disengaging. The Khepri on the side here of E-United. They've got the dashes as well, so it makes some sense. There haven't been a ton of kills so far, but Trifecta gonna dot their I's, cross their T's. They want this Gold Fury as well before they make their push.
And this gold is just extra money that they still need. They're not full item builds at the moment.
But are they going to spin this before they push?
Potentially. It just depends on where their minion waves are. They could look to the left-hand side tier 2. I'm not sure if we're going to see United defend that on the left-hand side. So it should be a free one, at least before they have to release base and spend it. I don't know if they do.
It looks like they're going to try and push. push, so until we see someone go back and actually spin the goal, don't count that for them just yet in terms of the impact of this actual fight. But it does mean if E United win, they don't have an easy objective to go get to try and close it back up if they win by a small margin. But they've got 4 members in duo lane 1. It's Sanford Soccer pushing up mid, and E United not defending these tier 2. They're giving them up for now. They want to fight on the Phoenixes.
And a little bit of power for Raven there is helping swing against that tower a little bit more. Bit surprised they actually went for a split push there with 4 left and 1 mid. And I think A United just expects to lose 1 tower so quick, but they end up losing both, which is another big gold swing.
It absolutely hurts, and now Trifecta are absolutely going to go back and spend not just the Gold Fury, but those 2 tier 2 towers as well to try and push themselves a little bit further along in their builds. Now, last time we checked on Zap, I believe he was done. He had the Magai's cloak in there, and he was good to go, so not a ton of power spikes left for this Uller, but they still have some, they can still go back and finish up some of these builds, some blessings still to be sold.
As long as Zap stays alive, there is a good chance Trifecta can take down towers very quickly.
Oh, they're waiting. Zapman trying to catch them around the red buff, not with the axe. Just trying to see if he can put in some damage, but Zapman goes aggressive. This has been it, Zap, and now he's been knocked up, and that forces the rest of Trifecta to go in for the engage. Ragnarok coming out from Neil Maw. He wants to try and pick up the bug, but nothing there. It's actually Baskin who's alive, but Aegis buys him time as Paul finds Scream.
Sam Neil Maw did so much work for Trifecta. They keep E United pushed back. E United are running away at the moment. Benji's been left alone as the engagement continues.
Well, now it's Panda Cat that needs some help. He makes it back under the tower, but a 2-man stun comes out from Neil. It's just not enough. No follow-up on the back end, but Trifecta now with the 5v4 and Fire Giant around their waist can try and push in up against E United. Your defending world champions potentially on the ropes here a bit up against Trifecta.
And a week ago, Trifecta were on the ropes. They were 1 game away from elimination. Now they're on the Phoenix on the left-hand side looking for the pick.
They do have to fall back for a moment. Got to wait for the minion wave and a little bit of sustain from the Fire Giant. Remember, they have the Chang'e as well, so a ton of healing coming their way as they look to push in one more time. It's Neil. Your eyes are on if he can find a nice stun as the Phoenix is being whittled down to about below half.
Agni's dashed down. That means Agni's got to fall back again. The Phoenix, though, still going to sit there for a little while, but Trifecta are kind of done. They've had enough. Because Scream has respawned.
Yeah, that's right. Susana will be back up. They don't have much more time on the Fire Giant. About another 15 seconds or so on that buff. But Trifecta still did good work. They found the tier 2s. They found the Gold Fury. They found a nice lead. But they couldn't break into the base and actually get the Phoenixes, which does still hurt.
But what ended up happening there is Sanford Soccer just went, I am bored of this. I am hitting W, and I'm going.
I don't know. I think it was Zapman that jumped in first, like a madman.
That's a good point. Madman Zap did come out for a second and actually helped his team.
Yes.
Doesn't normally, but it did that time.
It was kind of like Zapman was like, "Come on, guys, we're ahead. Fight! Like, go do it! Like, we got this."
I also think Zap went to hear the roll of the crowd too. I'm like, yeah, here we go again.
So he absolutely got a chance. Trifecta did win the fight, but couldn't find the objective. So we turn our eyes now to the Fire Giant, Graham, and see if E United want to come out and try and make one more defense.
Oh no, my fork is dirty. Look at this.
Said if they lose this now with no kills, they lose the game.
Yes, I think so.
It won't take long. As long as that man lives, he's got the build to be able to shred down the Phoenixes very quickly. Whereas E United, if they win this fight, the game still goes because they've not got the Phoenix or tower damage just yet, and there's still towers remaining on Trifecta's side of the map.
Yeah, E United have to play this one with the caveat that it's a lot more on the line for them, I think, in this fight than for Trifecta. They got to be cautious. Though, to be fair to E United, they opened up a path earlier on. That left side Phoenix is exposed. The Titan has some extra health because of those towers. But if they win the fight handily, like a deicide, and they're still comfortable afterwards, there certainly is a chance they could push in and threaten themselves.
Not gonna lie, Fidge, if you saw the scoreline and didn't see the team names, I thought this was an EU game right now with how few kills this has been. It's very tactical, this matchup.
It has been. There's been some action, but everyone's done a good job disengaging. Polar Bear Mike fights to try and control the vision around this Fire Giant. Scary D unperturbed about the root, but it's Neil. They pull right back in. The Agni damage there. Tycho drums and the waxing moon. It's huge from Scary D. Panda Cat low, but the Scared's blessing is better. Basket falls. Neil Maw finds Panda Cat as well. Now Benji in trouble, but Scream returns the favor to Scary D, but not before he falls as well.
That could be game.
Routing E United around the FG.
They can end off this, Finch.
That was scary
I'm
for
pretty
me,
sure
man.
Trifecta could just barrel down mid for the win.
They absolutely can. Zapman finds one more. A deicide comes in for Trifecta and a chance to push right in. 40 plus seconds on anyone for E United. And who could have guessed coming in? Trifecta in game one game away from moving on to the semifinals.
What a game this has
That's
been, though.
huge.
Trifecta just held on. They played their game well. We were both worried a little bit about how this comp would work in the late game. Well, you know what? They didn't really let them get to the late game. Trifecta won.
They were never comfortable, I don't feel, at any point. Scary D played lights out.
Okay, let's go for the Worlds. I said was Worlds. You know, honestly, I can't be bothered to look anymore. Let's go season 6.
The Smite Pro League has always been a League of Legends. Every year, the players in competition improve and get
Championships.
The support get
Whoops.
Many placed in placement weeks. About one of the best solo laners we've got.
Up against Final K, I don't expect Haddix to transcend into the Chaddix position the same way he played during the placements. But we'll see, it's still very early in the laning phase. Achilles has a lot of kill potential with that fatal strike. That Anvil of Dawn CC immunity will not stop the execute.
And this could potentially be a strategy. Is Final K going to try to be a bit of a lane bully? Or is he just going to try and wait and have more impact on him in the late game? The thing is that Thor can still do a lot of stuff even if he fell behind. But I don't know about Achilles. If Haddix isn't at least even with Final K, I'd be worried about him when he rotates into those later fights. But look at this, Tolly. 3 members rotating over to right. Oh, this could be trouble for Haddix. And Polar Bear Mike has the aggression, has the Sunder, pulls him in with the Cobra's Kiss. And there's the first blood of the Smite World Championships.
The support getting rewarded as well from the start of invading speed to now the first blood. Everyone from Rival can benefit. Doesn't matter who gets that kill. And that's going to allow Final K to now start rotating with the global pressure on this Thor.
Oh, and look at the timing that Haddix had to take. He does teleport his way back in, but that's not with a finished Glad Shield. Totally, he's got to take another back to finish that off.
That's going to be a big deal because Final K still has his teleport available. He's about to hit level 5 before Haddix, and I don't
I don't know, Hakimi, you want something?
From Final K onto Haddix. It's more about applying pressure onto Shinto. Force a flicker from someone else, preferably PBM, and then there goes the Anvil of Dawn.
And totally, let's come all the way to the other side of the map. What about Arkle on this Freya? Is he just taking this one away from Netrulade, or do you think Freya could potentially be strong here at this tournament?
I think Freya can be strong, but only with Fafnir really to get that extra burst of attack speed. Not seeing the Fafnir here for Rival, I think there's some merit. If you're winning the opposite side of the lanes, then Freya can work. But then if you're winning the opposite sides of the lane, anything can work in that matchup. But Freya does very well late game with the burst damage.
No, you're right, man. And you said no Fafnir here, no Guardians or Warriors to speak of here in this draft from Team Rival, man. They are all pressure, all damage. Everyone that they've drafted is capable of blowing up anyone on the other side at any given moment. Sanguine have to be careful, man. They're walking a tightrope up against this draft.
They're looking for another unexpected victim here is Rival. They have so much burst potential with Captain Twig now on the level 5 Hobwa. This crushing wave with also the World Weaver ultimate is going to be absolutely deadly once they catch anyone from Sanguine.
But I am a bit surprised. I mean, yes, Rival has pressured the jungle of Sanguine here a lot, but I mean, would you expect with this kind of draft that we'd be seeing a little bit more? I mean, we just got the ultimates online. I imagine that World Weaver's going to set up a lot more. Is that probably what's been causing it to be a bit slower?
I think that's how Rival's going to transition into that mid game, is utilizing that Neath global and also Final K's global after that early lead. And
Yeah, people think Neath global is so good in SPL. You focus on one target, pick them up Neath out, but it's never won a game in SPL years.
About the blue buff invade, and I don't think that Sanguine are going to be here in time. They probably just don't even the information. That is another successful invade. And look at the wards, especially on the left side of the map in favor of Team Rival. They have so much information. It's going to be hard to try and slow down all this aggression.
It's very easy to gank a Freya, so those wards are going to go a long way. Spend the 100
Is it
gold
really?
under the purple,
Yeah,
under
maybe.
the red buff, and there should be no
Get the
ganks
whoop and
goes way, and Rival leaning on the strength of the early start from PBM all over the map, stripping away another blue buff. I like the momentum Rival have been built up, because at this point they're kind of weak in this mid game if they don't get off to that early start.
You're right. They need to make sure they're coming in with a lead. And one thing to keep in mind, Polar Bear Mike went with this Sunder as opposed to the Blink. We see Blinks a lot on supports nowadays, but Sunder is something of a Polar Bear Mike special on things like Athena, somewhere where you can almost guarantee that hit and blow up one particular turret.
And it's going to be a very high risk, high reward kind of relic selection. Not having the access of Shell potentially, horrific emblem.
It was a delicious first plate.
Fighting relics we've been seeing more often in Season 6 SPL, but looking at Rongyu, it's a totally different style between Rongyu and PBM, playing a more defensive Guardian compared to the aggressive Assassin support. Rongyu is thinking of ways of keeping his teammates alive in the team fights and also shutting down Rival. That Furious Roar gets so much basic attack damage, and that'll hinder not only Panda Cat, but Arco on the Freya.
You're right, Xingchen took a great pick here for Rongyu. And Rongyu is the kind of support who I think can make some moves. There were some times towards the end of the placement week where I think Rongyu was diving a little bit too much on his own. He was getting picked a little bit too often. But Xingchen kind of likes to play in that positioning, wants to grab more people with his ultimate. This feels like not only a good pick for him, but it's a good pick in this matchup.
We need to see more out of him, though, and we might see it on the right side of the lane. Using that ultimate was Netroid, fearful for Haddix's life.
Fortunately, that was enough to deter the aggression. Rongyu has caught one inside the weather, and Bino K gets away with the hammer, avoids the execute, takes to the sky, avoids getting burned by Shinto's Merlin, and Bino K wants to come back in.
No way, he actually goes back in, but the crushing wave with Panda Cat takes out Rongyu.
That's huge from Panda Cat, a great rotation, Twig as well, and Rival now up 2-0, but totally, it's not just those kills. Don't get distracted there. They're already up 3,000 gold. We're not even 8 minutes into this.
Was honest mistake in pouring in too much. I counted wrong.
That's jungle control, man.
Confidence from Final K to go back nuts is just absolutely absurd. Just goes to show you this.
Yeah, even if the water already covers the past, if you have too little, it tastes different. It kind of tastes like less elevated, less restaurant quality.
You do need to come in and win this decisively. I know that Sangwon looked good in placements, but I mean, Dignitas are still out there. Splice is on the other side of the bracket. If you want to beat teams like that, you do need to come out hot here in this very first game.
Just thinking about the way Rival crumbled against Armada during MSI, it was a great strategy to disrupt what Rival wanted to do early. Sangwon had no way to disrupt Rival from doing that. PBM got a great invade, and it seemed like Sangwon wanted to just wait for the mid to late game.
Arkle under pressure here and left, but just uses the ultimate. Doesn't even have to use the purification beads. So even if he does get ganked again, he'll be very, very safe for that one as well. And he'll have the banish. Plus, look, they've got both red buff control as well. Rival, so far this game, have really dominated.
Still great vision on the left side of the map. A lot of these neutral camps between the mid-Harpies and the Oracles are going Rival's way. So a lot of safety for Oracles still with a 1-level lead. Working on some of these rings. Gonna be a very scary Freya to deal with in a couple of minutes.
You're right, she's gonna have plenty of time to get that build online, and not the only one that looks to be going a bit greedy. Transcendence for Panda Cat on this Neath in the middle lane, that's become kind of the style. I think a Doom Orb for Twig on this Hop on the jungle, that's another thing that's become a really big build nowadays.
I fucking love Neath mid though. Late in my Smite career,
Honestly, I don't think they even needed it.
or addiction, or being forced to play.
And that might have looked like Sangwon getting too aggressive in the jungle. That was their side of the map, dude. That was chaos.
I discovered Neath, and she was fun, playing mid, jungle, with fucking ability damage and CD.
We're getting to that mid-game point where these
What's the build again? Yeah, it's good for lifesteal, but also extra CDRs you can put in. Yeah, turns out that fucking ult is 40% cooler than nerf, right? What was the finished starter item? Like Bluestone, right. That means ult is another 300 damage. I just kept playing, so it was fun, and I got really good, and I put it on ranked and in casuals. And this deep mid, I farm
Showing us
everybody.
the accuracy already. That's a Gold Fury every day of the week now for Team Rival. And this game has quickly gotten out of control from Sanguine.
I think her 2 needs to be twice as fast to activate and give out a second long attack speed buff, so you can keep it on the hunt turns.
Somewhere along the way. Has no CC immunity in her kit.
You get, I saw this income do this, right, and you get blink, you ult somebody, you blink, the ult hits them and you use spirit arrow, and the mage dies, the enemy mage is their weakness.
You're exactly right, and Sanguine on the other hand, it looks like just didn't have a strategy or a weakness that they were ready or looking to exploit coming into this match. You're exactly right, and now they're so far behind. I mean, Panatom's Erlong Shin is level 7. That's the same as Rong Yu. All he has is Traveler's Shoes and Berserker Shield. That's just not going to be enough.
I was going to say, like, Erlang Shen can still do things from behind, but this is getting almost out of control. Like a 3-level deficit, you can't even build tanky enough to start dealing with the damage Captain Twig is going to deal.
Haddock still has the ultimate. He'll use it for the CC immunity, but fine, okay, without the hammer. Can't find the kill, but he goes into the tower. Haddock has the stun, Darkest of Nights as well, but he is able to take down Haddock and make it out with the ult.
He tried to be clean with a hammer, realized he had to commit at that point, and then using his ultimate to get out. He had a lot of protections, physical-wise, with the Breastplate of Valor, so he recognized even with the dive, he would still be safe.
Rong Yu blinks in. Panda Cat backflips, but that's easy to reach. So Rong Yu's right there with the flip to lock him down. They need Shinto's damage. Beads and Aegis gets him out, but Shinto commits for it, and they take down Panda Cat as well.
Rong Yu now going to be answered back in kind. I don't think Shinto can get out of this one.
No, he can't. He ends up paying for it. That makes it 3 for 1 now in favor of Sanguine because Netroid has fallen here as well. Arco with free reign on the left-hand side of the map, and this game quickly getting out of control for Sanguine.
It's looking really bad. Panatom can't even cross past his own back harpies. He's on the retreat.
And he has to fall all the way back. Captain Twig able to clear up some space with his tier 2 tower on the left if he's threatened. They don't have very many minions, but PBM's just gonna tank it up. Totally, it's not even 13 minutes, that's a tier 2.
I mean, what else are they gonna do, Finch? Gold Fury was already down. Like, yeah, you could go for the right side. Fire Giant if you want. I mean, Pyromancer was already secured. Rival getting every objective they please.
So far, Rival have been in complete control of this game. And Sanguine have some tools, totally. How does Sanguine try and find their way back in? They've got the control with Rong Yu and Panatom and the execute with Haddock, all this damage from Shinto. I mean, it's not entirely out of reach.
It's not. I think that with good proper vision on maybe like the right side of the map, and then making adaptations towards ganking Arcule, that could be the play to get back into it, shutting down the Freya. But at this point, he's already level 15 on the Freya. 2 rings completed with penetration boon. How do you even out-damage him?
Panatom in trouble yet again. The World Weaver ultimate's already been used from Panda Cat, but they're not quite able to lock Shinto down. Even holds on to both relics there, so that's a really good fight for them. And Shinto might be the last bastion for this squad. Level 13, right there in your Panda Cat, only about a level down, has the Doom Orb complete and the Spear of the Magus at this point. Maybe they have to try and play around this Merlin.
They really can't unless that Rival overextend, because Sanguine, the only place they can make is where they have numbers, but they haven't been able to move up because they just have to prioritize farming at this point.
You're right, and that's why Rival are grouping. They're trying to pull Sanguine away from their farm to try and make the lead work in their favor. Let's say this tier 2 tower push stalls, it still favors Rival because Sanguine aren't farming, but it doesn't look like it's going to stall to me. PBM comes through and they bring Rong Yu low, but not quite able to get the tier 2, so Panatom, 3-man taunt, but no one to follow up.
I mean, there's just too much damage to return. If anyone goes in, they're getting blown up by this level 15 Freya, by the level 13 Hopwa, that also has a lot of magical power now going with the Doom Orb.
Captain Twig fully behind the tier 2 tower, has to use the crushing wave defensively to get away. Might have been a little bit more.
That was a cool guy. I talked to him in the stream.
It's safer rather than sorry.
Great pincer maneuver. It's not only PBM on the left, but it's also Final Pay on the right side.
He took to the sky, dunks down on the Rong Yu, and Captain Twig gets the very first kill of this engagement. But what about on the backline? Polar Mike is still there, but can't quite find his window. This is all in the service of denying Sanguine farm.
It took a little bit of time here, and they still are not successful in getting the tier 2 tower, but they get the kill, and more importantly, they keep denying farm while they're waiting for the Fury to respawn. It's a delay tactic for this objective.
You're right. I mean, at that point, there was nothing more efficient for them to be doing with their time on the map, right? So basically, They just had to try and look for what farm they could get. Deny some from Sanguine. Maybe you get the tier 2 tower. Maybe you get a couple of picks. They did end up at least getting one kill in the wrong you. Some good damage on the tier 2. Now they'll get this Fury here once it respawns.
And there's no reason for them to really force this one right now with a 10,000 gold lead. It's looking very clean for them to be able to extend their lead with the Fury, with the Pyromancer, and with the Fire Giant in due time.
Wow, 10,000 gold, 15,000 experience. This one might already just be out of reach here for Sanguine. But here's the thing, Toli, about this Sanguine roster. I have never seen any quit in this team at all, man.
Sure.
This is a confident squad. Everyone thought that they didn't have a chance to make it through placements. Sanguine thought the whole time that they could make it. And even coming here, they're believing in this world's run. I know that this is rough for them. It's a brutal start to this game. But those 5 guys up on the stage, no way they've given up.
They beat Space Station Gaming, Luminosity, Simplicity to get here. Even the Hype Xbox team, which was making a very impressive run. So this is a team that can't be counted out once they do have some momentum. But Rival haven't given them any opportunities to build any steam despite looking at wrong use back here.
Yeah, at this point, all you can do if you're Sanguine, I think, is try and keep your eyes open for any opening that Rival might try and give you. But now they've grabbed the Pyromancer. They've got Wrong You in the Banish. He does get hit by some damage from Captain Twig. Oliver Mike leaps in, and Twig now on a rampage. 5 in a row.
There's 12 clean kills from Rival. What more can you really expect from the #1 seeded team out of the SPL? Making some sort of play is Sanguine on this tier 1 left tower, but it's just too little too late, it feels, while Rival get the Fire Giant.
Well, this Fire Giant's going to go down for Rival, so this is the best Sanguine can do, is try and trade out some towers. Remember, the tier 2s, that's 1,500 gold, the tier 1 about 500 or so. So this is about 2,000 global gold they've added to their own pockets to try and mitigate some of this bleeding. The problem is that Rival are about to make a withdrawal of their own as they head towards these tier 2s.
It is important to get anything that you can, you know, squeezing blood from the stone at this point is Sanguine, but Rival are going to get more than just that gold. They're going to get some Phoenixes and maybe some more kills.
Wrong You has just become the target, man. 5 deaths this game. Polar Bear Mike nearly gets the kill in the Wrong You by himself, pulls him back in, but he's quite low as well. Haddix comes in and finds a 1, but they end up losing Wrong You in trade. Executes there, a double for Haddix. Sanguine, they're not done just yet.
I mean, Rival overextending. 2 in middle, 1 on the left side of the lane, and 2 on the right. This is not how Rival started off the game or transitioned into the middle game.
Right.
They need to also end cleanly, the same way they've been playing during phase 1, during phase 2. They ended phase #1 with an 8-1 clean record, but they did not end the phase 1 at MSI after they lost to Armada.
So despite that really good phase 1 start that team had, you gotta wonder maybe if there was a bit of a slip. The MSI performance against Armada. Phase 2 is obviously still strong. They lock up the first seed, but not as good as that phase 1 start. This is where Rival can show us that that team is still in there, man. They can clean these games up. But remember, Sanguine love to go to the late game. They will stall it out. Remember at placements how many 40-minute, 50-minute games they had? This team is willing to wait if Rival don't clean this up.
I think we were there for that as well, casting that set. But it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish.
Sure.
Look at Renegades during phase 1. They went 5 and 4, and then they win MSI, going undefeated. And currently Rival, with this great start, need to end very cleanly to get this first win in the set.
Wrong You goes with a Relic Dagger after the Gauntlet of Thieves here in this spot. That's interesting. I mean, it's cheap, it's some health. It does allow you to blink more often, a little bit of movement speed there too. Do you like this option when you're behind? I feel like he didn't feel like he had time to go into something more expensive.
It's important to get cooldown reduction anywhere you can, but Haddix gonna need more CCR reduction from all of this.
Cobra's Kiss from Polar Bear Mike is what kept Haddix in range, and they block it. No way you're getting out of here with the execute this time. Captain Twig notches number 14 here for Rival, but they're not done. Final K barely makes it to the sky, and they'll come give this tier 2 tower one more try.
The Furious Roar was so close to taking out Final K there as he lives with literally 1% health, but Rival getting very antsy now, being between the tier 2 and the Phoenix by yourself. I get it. You're a tanky Thor. You have all these protections and the help, but this is not how you close out games. But teleporting back in.
And they got the wall, they've got the hammer, but Netroid, man, just a wiggle and worm his way back out of there. That's the tier 2 tower down, and Rival now threatening the Phoenix. Frenzy popped, but 2-man top by Panatom. Wrong You there with the Whirlwind of Rage and Steel, but Arco puts Wrong You into the dirt. Captain Twig, Flatten Shinto as well, and that's it for the mid-Phoenix. Can Rival make an end off this? It's a 5v3.
It's looking like they are gonna at least try. This damage from Arco is just absurd, not to mention also Captain Twig.
Captain Twig in position, Titan below half HP at this point.
be able to invade that speed buff for free, looking like a steal over here potentially as well. PBM stuns out Panatum.
They were trying to find the kill, but he just barely makes it out of there with that Deathbane. Arkle is pretty low over there on the left-hand side as well. He's got to be careful, though Netroid not going to aggress any further. The Hunters just get low, but no one ends up falling.
I really thought that when the On Her was selected, that it was definitely going to go to the likes of Arkle, considering how much of a non-impact he was in the early game. He's like, guys, give me something that I can really frag on, right? Like, he loves his... He loves his On Her, but I think if you're that dominating on the right side of the map, just, yeah, play a Freya on the left side. You know, bake yourself in the oven, and then you're going to be coming out nice and crispy at the end.
You're right, man. I think a lot of people forget that Freya is still good lane pressure, man. She clears the wave really well. It might be a while before she's really ready to box like she's going to be when she gets a couple rings online, but certainly it comes to clearing the wave. She's there. Shinto avoids getting hit by the Impale. Wrong Yu has wrapped around looking to catch Panda Cat. The driving strike pushes him the wrong way, and Wrong Yu just barely won't have enough for the kill. And now it's Rival's turn to look for the turnaround, but they've got some backup. Not enough. Captain Twig finds first blood.
They might be looking for a little bit more. No, Panatum does walk out. Very unfortunate there for Wrong Yu that he was only level 1, didn't have access to the pull or enough damage, despite having the mobility to get a couple of pot shots after the driving strike. And aggression meets aggression. Panda Cat, no stranger to jumping in with the On Her, puts himself a little bit out of position, counting his lucky stars that this Hercules was only level 1.
And you could tell Wrong Yu didn't want to drive him strike. It was going to push him away from the team. It wouldn't be the follow-up damage, but once he got so far, he had to see if maybe he'd have enough damage for the kill on his own. And because he committed, he ended up dying. And Haddix might be in trouble too. Twig has rotated over, but he has dash and shield wall. Without the taunt, no way to lock down Haddix there.
Similar story on the right side compared to Wrong Yu in middle there. Not enough levels there on this Athena. And honestly, the preemptive beats from Panda Cat in mid to hold that thought, though, Panatum's still in trouble.
Getting caught here in the jungle yet again. This is where we saw him trying to defend the speed last time, and he ended up getting bullied. But Wrong Yu on the Hercules pushes PBM away. Wrong Yu's gone with boots 2 to start. So he's plenty ready for this aggression.
And despite PBM not finding the kill, he forced it back from Panatum. So that's a technical kill where you are denying a good amount of time to farm, probably like 15 to 20 seconds. And that adds up the more times you are able to get it off.
Dude, that's the Tully KO. I've been calling it the TKO, man, on that one when you send him back to base. So, and you're certainly right, man. We get some credit for just having pushed them back, for them not being able to farm for a little while. As Rival looking to be aggressive on the buff invade again, but it looks like Sanguine defended this time.
They do, and now Rival can only walk back, but they could at least zone Haddix away from picking up that blue buff. And it's looking like Sanguine are in control of the Totem of Coups. A good objective to control if you're not able to at least control your buffs there. And extra 125 gold, every advantage that you can get helps Sanguine here.
And they need every bit of it. Talk to me, though, a bit about this solo lane matchup. I know a lot of people like Osiris into the Jormungandr in particular. Is it just because of the tether? Is that really good into him?
I mean, that's one way to look at it. Once you are stealth, you just pop the tether, you identify exactly where this Jormungandr is going, but it's also a good way to mitigate a lot of damage in these team fights.
Taunt after the dash there from Twig, but only Wrong Yu is found. No beads to grab there. But already, I got to give Sanguine a ton of credit. They have kept themselves in this as opposed to game 1. Arkle forcing the Valkyrie's discretion. Good damage on the Panatom, but the ambush forces out the beads. Arkle was looking to stand and fight.
He's mad, you can tell.
Yeah.
He's like a bee that got disrupted in his little hives. Like, how dare you poke me? Wanting to find that return kill. Only level 3 Sorket, so he identified the 1v2 advantage that he had, poking out Panatom there. Netroid still not with his ultimate, so he had no worry about that mounted archery damage.
That's a big deal. I am very likely that could have spelled in there for Arkle. But the good news is, if you're on the side of Singwin, that Arkle had to use the ultimate and the purification beads to escape there. That's why we saw Panatom commit that ambush to jump in afterwards to force those beads. If they come back around again, that should be a pretty good game.
And if I'm going to nitpick, I don't really think Arkle needed to use the beads at the very end of it, seeing how far away Netroid was, seeing that his ultimate wasn't up either, but feeling like there might have been a third supporting member, it could have been Arkle, so playing it rather safe instead of Sar. And PBM still applying pressure in this solo lane.
He's looking for Haddix. Has the defender of Olympus coming in as well. And this is enough to force Haddix to use the ultimate. Has to use that ultimate here in order to disengage. We'll fight over the blue buff. Can't quite tell who got that, but there's gonna be a fight on the backside as Captain Twig is already low. Panatom looking for him, but instead they go for the peel. Twig gets off a great two-man taunt, sets up for a kill, but it's traded back as Twig falls as well.
Oh, Shinto flickered away. Now he might be in a little bit of trouble, but Rival gonna walk away after that one-for-one. Great rotation from Panda Cat, securing that kill with a long-range Desert Fury.
Fine, okay, just rotating back in the lane, and this is so much better from Sangwin this time. I know they're still down a little bit less than 1,000 or so, but this is so much better than game number one. They're giving themselves a fighting chance.
And with Final K playing this Osiris, that kind of dictates the game plan from Rival to start off the game. It's to pressure solo lane, utilize the strength. It's hard to outbox this Osiris with all the mitigation that he gets from his passive, the tether as well. Free poke with very short cooldown from his abilities. Great.
Alright, that's it. That's it. I'm gonna go and maintain a sleeping schedule. Goodbye. Have a nice time.